True Fin Fan says, I don't believe they're all finally coming around. To me, they knew they were full of shit themselves, but clickbait is king, so let's fool the fools. Me, I got the big O and Sean. Thank you, sir. Thank you, True Fin Fan. No, but I think some of them are actually figuring it out, that they're now figuring it out that Tyreek can't be traded. Like, they can't afford it. Like, they're finally figuring it out. Where we've been telling you for a while now. It's like, you can't do it. And you know what it is? You know how screwed up? Think about the Dolphins right now, how effed up they must be in that front office and coaching staff. Okay? Because as we let you in on this, nobody else did. You still don't, those of you that listen to the show, they weren't paying him. Okay? Those were the facts. There was a disagreement in that building. I'm paying, not paying, and all that. And they went back and forth. And not paying won out for a long time. And then as we got closer to the training camp and season, it started to get, it somehow got weakened, the stance inside the building, because there was a rift in the building. And to this day, there are people walking around in that building telling other people, I told you so. That wasn't a uniform decision to guarantee the money to Tyreek last year. So now you've got the conundrum, the situation, the dynamic, the disturbing dynamic that the effed up decision you made last year forces you to make the effed up decision of that you have to deal with him, you have to tolerate him, and you have to try to overcome and make it work because you have no choice. If you were going to rebuild, if you were going to get a new coach and all that, you easily could have gotten rid of him for lesser pick. You just want to get rid of the fucking headache. But the interesting dynamic of all, the disturbing dynamic of all of this was that in that building, they were torn. And then something happened and it gave in. And they gave him the money, because notice it didn't happen till closer to the season. And I kept telling you, they're not paying him. They're not paying. And then all of a sudden, they caved in. I started to hear like, oh, well, we're worried about how he's going to act and all that kind of stuff. And I told a couple of people in the building, I said, you can't do that. You can't worry about how he's going to act. You need to use that as leverage. Look at what happened to the Heat and Butler. I told them that over a year ago. I said, about a year ago. Look what happened to Butler and the Heat. They ended up giving him that extension, and look, he doesn't play. He doesn't play in the regular season. Look where it ended up. So it's really an interesting, a disturbing dynamic. The disturbing dynamic of Tyreek Hill. They were at odds to pay him, and now they're all screwed because they have to keep him. So the people that didn't want to pay him are probably telling the people that paid him, why did you do that? Look at where we're at now. Was Reggie McKenzie one of the guys that said, don't guarantee him the money? We'll never know.
This is the